Imagine a world bathed in the golden hues of dawn, where the first light of day gently kisses the rolling hills and fields. Farmers walk their fields, preparing the soil much as their ancestors did centuries ago. They use wooden plows and horses, relying on age-old techniques passed down through generations. Livestock graze peacefully, their rhythms unchanged for generations. Cows and sheep dot the landscape, moving in harmony with the natural world around them. This is a world untouched by the roar of factories, the hiss of steam, the clang of the industrial revolution that never was. The landscape remains pristine, unmarred by industrial sprawl. Homes are lit by candles and oil lamps, casting a warm, flickering glow that brings families together in the evening hours. The air is filled with the sounds of nature, not the din of machinery. Birds chirp in the trees, rivers flow gently, and the wind rustles through the leaves, creating a symphony of natural sounds. People travel by foot, animal, or simple carts. Dirt paths and rural roads are the veins of this world, connecting villages and communities. The pace of life is slow, dictated by the seasons and the rising and setting of the sun. Villagers engage in seasonal farming activities, their lives intertwined with the natural cycles. News travels at the speed of horseback. Messages are delivered by riders who traverse the countryside, bringing news from distant places. Communication is limited to letters carried by hand or word of mouth. Handwritten letters are cherished, often read and reread by candlelight. Families live for generations in the same villages, their lives interwoven with the land and the cycles of nature. They work together in the fields, sharing the burdens and joys of rural life. The world is smaller, more localized, with knowledge passed down through generations. Elders teach children traditional skills, and stories are shared by the fireplace, preserving the wisdom of the past. This is not to say this pre-industrial world is idyllic. The challenges of rural life are many, and the work is often grueling. Life is hard, often brutal. The weathered faces of rural workers tell stories of toil and perseverance. Disease is a constant threat. Infant mortality is high, and traditional healers do their best with the limited knowledge and resources they have. Yet there's a certain harmony with nature, a connection to the earth that many in our industrialized world have lost. Farmers work in tune with the seasons, respecting the land that sustains them. This is the world that might have been, a world where the Industrial Revolution never took hold, a world still sown with the seeds of tradition, simplicity, and a deep bond with nature. Without the innovations of the Industrial Revolution, transportation remains rudimentary. Horse-drawn carriages and walking are the primary means of getting from one place to another, and the pace of life is dictated by the speed of these simple conveyances. Forget high-speed trains and airplanes. The concept of rapid transit is non-existent, and the idea of crossing continents in mere hours is a fantasy. Long-distance travel is arduous, reserved for the wealthy or the desperate. For most, the thought of journeying far from home is daunting, filled with uncertainty and peril. Wooden sailing ships ply the seas at the mercy of wind and waves. These vessels are the lifelines connecting distant lands, but their voyages are fraught with danger and unpredictability. Journeys that take hours in our world take weeks or even months. The unpredictability of weather and the vastness of the oceans make each trip an epic adventure. Communication is equally constrained. The telegraph, telephone, and internet are but dreams in this alternate reality. Messages are sent by hand, carried by couriers who traverse great distances to deliver news. News from distant lands arrives slowly, often outdated by the time it reaches its destination. The world feels larger, and the flow of information is a slow trickle rather than a constant stream. Families separated by distance may only hear from each other sporadically, their lives unfolding in separate, unconnected spheres. The emotional toll of this separation is profound, as loved ones wait anxiously for any word from afar. The absence of mass production means goods are crafted by hand, often with painstaking care and skill. Each item is a labor of love, reflecting the dedication and expertise of its maker. Each item is unique, imbued with the mark of its maker. The individuality of these creations stands in stark contrast to the uniformity of mass-produced goods. Quality, not quantity, is the hallmark of this world. The finest materials are used and the craftsmanship is unparalleled, resulting in items that are both beautiful and durable. Yet this also means that luxuries are scarce, available only to the privileged few. The divide between the wealthy and the common folk is stark, with opulence and scarcity existing side by side. This is a world where time seems to flow differently. The pace of life is unhurried, and the passage of time is marked by the natural rhythms of the day and the seasons. Without the constant pressure of deadlines and schedules, life moves at a slower, more deliberate pace. People take the time to savor each moment, finding joy in the simple pleasures of daily life. People are intimately familiar with the rhythms of nature, their lives intertwined with the seasons. The success of their harvests and the well-being of their communities depend on their deep understanding of the natural world. The concept of progress itself takes on a different meaning, measured not in technological advancements, but in the slow, steady accumulation of knowledge and tradition. Wisdom is passed down through generations, and the past is revered as a guide for the future.